So I was actually born and raised in Zagreb, Croatia, which is the capital of Croatia, and I moved to the United States with my parents and my sister when I was 11 years old.
So my Croatian side of the family, we are from an area, the region of Croatia called the Dalmatian coastline, specifically from an island called Dugi Otok.
My great-grandpa was actually born in Croatia, and he was born in the town of Komiža, which is on the island of Vis in Croatia, and he came to the United States, specifically San Pedro, in about 1920.
My parents came from a small island, which is about a little over 2 miles long and 3/4 mile wide.
Born and raised here in San Pedro, our family's been here almost 100 years. My father's side of the family, Bez Milinovic, came from the island of Brač. Not only did San Pedro provide the fishing opportunities here, but it also looks similar.
My parents chose San Pedro because it's one of the largest Croatian diasporas in the country.
San Pedro is culture. It's a mixture of all these different cultures that came from Europe, parts of Asia. We have the Croatian, the Italian, the Portuguese, the Japanese cultures. They're all integrated into San Pedro.
What's kind of cool living in San Pedro when you're driving around and you see names on signs and they end in ICH or they have this Croatian name. It's nice to live in a community of about 30,000 Croatians in San Pedro, I believe.
2023 I actually went, we covered the whole country, and we actually went on a cruise, and every day we'd go to a different island. So we got to go back to Komiža, which is where my family was from, and actually go to my great-grandpa's house. You go to the cemetery, and it's really interesting because you see names of people that I know here from San Pedro, but it's last names from people there from like the 1800s.
It's a known fact that Croatia has thousands of islands, and a lot of these small villages and towns have annual festivals in the summer.
Going out to the beach almost every day, catching squid or catching fish in the ocean, talking to the old people in the streets, asking questions, and some of them remember my father or some other cousins.
My dad used to tell us stories of his childhood, and he'd talk about the sea and how the water was incomparable to anywhere else in the world. And my first time there was in 2005. I was 17 years old, and it truly was everything that I had heard of.
Growing up Croatian, there's three things that are kind of important. It's faith, family, and of course food.
If you're a Croatian, you know what the barbecues are like.
Whether it's Christmas Eve and we're having a big seafood dinner, or just Sunday dinner and having masticholi and sauerkraut.
Getting together with friends and family, having a big cookout with just storytelling, singing, music.
Croatians are very proud people who will always gladly tell you about all things Croatian.
Many of these families that emigrated, every one of them can write a book. Every family had a story to tell.
Croatia as a country, we are small, 4.5 million, but we're mighty.